It's amazing how mainstream media and the government in the Western countries can make anybody that doesn't look at the world the same way as they do the bad person, the enemy. The truckers that are that went into Ottawa here, I think 11 or 12 days ago now, are being called occupiers. They've occupied. It's sort of like they're a foreign force, a foreign army, the enemy of some sort. They're spreading the mainstream media. If you read it, I read one from Al Jazeera here just this morning actually, and it was they were extorting the people of Ottawa. They were extorting the Canadians. They're racist, Nazis. They're white supremacists. They're violent. They are. They're defecating on the streets. They're pissing and dancing on the war memorials. They're defacing the Terry Fox statue. They're all racist. And they're using that. You see, I'm used to this. I'm used to seeing this, being a person that actually likes China. I'm used to seeing how the mainstream media in the West can demonize, dehumanize a group of people with words. And they've done it to China for the last number of years, and now they're doing it to the truckers, Canadian citizens. And it's not just truckers, it's healthcare workers, it's police, it's people that work at a grocery store, it's people that just believe in what the truckers are talking about, freedom, taking away our rights. And I think a lot of this has to do with not trusting the Canadian government. And well, here's an instance. A week or so ago, the truckers came rolling into Ottawa. As soon as they did that, Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada, went into hiding and said, "Now I have COVID. I've been diagnosed with COVID." A week later, Justin Trudeau was in question period in the House of Commons. If he had COVID, do you think a week later he would be in the House of Commons? Question period? So, obviously no. Did he have COVID? No. Everybody knows that. You see, as the government lies to the people, as mainstream media lies to the people, as all of these institutes, the Ottawa police lie to the people, as they lie, cheat, and steal, as the Americans would say. Not only that, but they came out on CBC, and CBC is this mainstream media that Justin Trudeau gave $600 million to spout the liberal rhetoric and whatever. Well, of course they're going to do what he wants. $600 million is a lot of money, guys. Okay, so they come out here a week ago, and they were blaming the Russians. Like, seriously, they were blaming the Russians for helping finance this truck convoy across Canada to Ottawa. Well, people laughed at that. People just said, no, that's so much bullshit that it had no credibility. Sort of like what Justin Trudeau said, he had COVID and then ran and hid. No, he was hiding. He had no COVID. But when that didn't work, now the new thing that they're saying is Donald Trump and Elon Musk are behind and financing it. So the Russians didn't work, so Donald Trump and Elon Musk are the ones with money behind this convoy. The Ottawa police have said that they were part of this shutting down the GoFundMe, the $10 million GoFundMe. It's okay to fund like Black Lives Matter, where people are burning things and vandalizing and stuff like that. Even Justin Trudeau said, yeah, well, I believe in Black Lives Matter, but I don't believe in what these Canadian citizens are doing. You know what I mean? Like, seriously. So, but then there's the other side of the coin where, anti-vaxxers, but you see all of these truckers aren't anti-vaxxers. A lot of these guys and girls out there on the streets, let me not get ahead of myself. All of these people out there on the streets, I would say most of them have their double vaccinations, but they just don't like the way the government is treating the truckers or the health workers. Why not fund the health system better? Instead of giving money away to all of this green, I don't even know where to start. Get the oil patches in Alberta back up and running and making money, so you can finance the health sector in Canada, so that you have more ICU beds, so you have more nurses and doctors and hospitals and stuff like this. No, shut it down. Why? Well, because it seems like the government is trying to sabotage the economy of Canada from start to finish. Stopping the truckers going back into the United States, well, that's just part of it. Now they're talking that maybe next Friday they're going to start putting in mandates where you can't go from province to province. So your Charter of Rights and Freedoms, the right of mobility, is squashed by the Canadian government. Why would they do this? Does this help with the pandemic? So back to these guys, the government and mainstream media trying to dehumanize the protesters. Well, it's not working. The protest is actually getting bigger. I think every time they do something like this, every time the government points a finger and tries to dehumanize, tries to belittle, tries to call them racist, extortionists, whatever, I think it just makes that protest, their word, get out a little bit more. People understand and see what the government is doing. The division between the vaccinated and the non-vaccinated is not as wide as it used to be, because Trudeau and his cronies are trying to make a division there, and people are seeing through it now. So the vaccinated truckers and the non-vaccinated truckers, and they're coming together. They're being unified because the government and mainstream media is trying to make them look bad, trying to divide them. I don't think it's working, guys. I think that the government of Canada is in a pickle, and they put themselves in that pickle by trying to assert their power more than they legally could. And the people of Canada are standing up. Not only that, but it's ballooned into the United States. It's ballooned into New Zealand and Australia. It's ballooned. You see, other people take the lead. If something is working in one place, and the distrust of the government, the distrust of the mainstream media is just freaking off the rails. But then you got to look at the other side of the coin too. If there's anti-vaxxers out there and they're not getting vaccinated, and ICUs are filling up, and beds aren't available for people that need surgeries and treatments and life-threatening medical situations and stuff, well, that could be a problem too. So there's always two sides to a coin. But whenever the Conservatives ask the question of the Liberal government, why won't you give more funding to the health care sector in Canada so that they can have more ICU beds, they can have more doctors, they can have more nurses? When they're asked this, the Liberals won't answer the question. If you've ever watched Question Period, and it's a thing that the Canadian government does, where the other parties can ask the ruling party questions about when they're going to do something, or what about this, what about that. The Liberals will never answer a question. They will never answer a question if their life depended on it. Pierre Poilievre asked Justin Trudeau, how much money did the We Corporation pay your family? And this is the corporation that Justin Trudeau is giving $500 million to. How much? Trudeau wouldn't answer the question. He just wouldn't answer. But you see, this is a normal thing in Canadian politics where they just won't answer the question because they know that if they did answer the question, it would be something that could be used against them in a court of law for, you know, it's one of those things where it's so corrupt now that maybe it is time for Canada to start looking at a different type of system. Maybe Canada is too big. The East doesn't understand about the West, and the West doesn't understand about the East. We have different political views. We have different ideals. Coming from Saskatchewan, a prairie boy, I look at the world totally different than somebody that came from Montreal or Toronto or Newfoundland or Nova Scotia, or you know what I mean? Even from province to province, we you know, in the West, from BC to Saskatchewan, we look at things a lot differently. So maybe get rid of the federal government. That would be a good thing. What does a federal government run? They run prisons, the post office, they run the railroads and pipelines, they run, you know, not a lot of stuff. They run employment insurance and federal taxes and, you know, border security, foreign affairs. They run all of that. But you see, I think a provincial government that's already set up could probably do the same thing that the federal government does, only on a smaller scale. What would happen if a provincial government took over the federal duties in their territory? Let's pick on Saskatchewan because I know Saskatchewan the best. Saskatchewan has just over 1 million people. We've got one federal prison in Prince Albert. We've got our railroad system is garbage. Post office, well, people really don't use the postal service as much as they used to. There's courier services. Most everything is done over the internet now. You know, the federal government doesn't do a lot of stuff, guys. The idea that the provincial government could take on the federal responsibilities and Saskatchewan could become its own country. Just think, guys and girls, if Saskatchewan became its own country and you only have just over 1 million people, and Saskatchewan's a half province, and you didn't have to transfer any money to the rest of Canada, just think how rich each person would be. I would imagine with all of the gold and the uranium, with all of the potash and the farms, and you know, just because Saskatchewan's actually a fairly big province and it has lots and lots of natural resources worth literally billions of dollars. I would imagine instead of sending a bunch of cash to Ottawa, you could keep the cash and just divvy it out to the people of Saskatchewan. Everybody would be a millionaire the first year. Now you look at Alberta. Well, frick, if Alberta was running their own show and they didn't have to put up with the federal government, they would be like Saudi Arabia. They would be like Qatar. They would have everybody in Alberta. I would want to move to Alberta, guys, because once the oil started flowing and the pipelines were built, and they would make deals with the United States, or they would make deals with other provinces because there would be money in it for the other provinces. Well, the western provinces anyway. But the thing is that this is a possibility in the future, because if Canada can't get its act together as a large country, it's going to start looking like Europe in a number of years. All small little countries. Because at this point right now, it's not working. Quebec won't allow pipelines through their territory, so you can't get Alberta oil to the eastern provinces. It's better to bring it from Saudi Arabia and pay a foreign country than it is to pay your own Canadian citizens for the same product. You know, it's just all screwed up. Anyway, I think you get the idea of what I'm saying in this video. At this point, it looks like the Canadian government and the Liberal Party, the ruling party of Canada, is trying to make it difficult for the economy. for the Canadian people. It looks like they're sabotaging our economy. For what reason, I have no idea. But anybody that's been watching what's going on, shutting down the oil fields in Alberta, stopping the truckers from crossing the border, setting up mandates, shutting down businesses all across the country, bankrupting so many different people. Mandates. Yes, there's mandates. There's got to be mandates. But they don't have to be the mandates that the Liberal Party is using at this time. Interprovincial rules and regulations on truckers. These guys never get out of their frickin' truck. How can they even get COVID all by themselves, sitting in their truck? You see, there's no rhyme or reason. It doesn't make any sense. And that, my friends, is another video from Gweilo 60. Going back into Canada, to the belly of the beast, all of this stuff that's going on, I don't know where it's going to end, but I'll be there watching it, and because it's my country, Canada, I am interested in it. I want to see the Canadian economy do good. I want to see the Canadian people do good. I want to see the pandemic over. I want to see more money being given to healthcare from the federal government. I want to see better fiscal responsibility. I want to see Justin Trudeau out on his ass. I want to see a lot of things. Probably won't get it all in the first year that we're back, or the first 6 months that we're back, but hopefully Canada moves in a positive direction rather than a negative direction. I think I was reading something here the other day where when Stephen Harper was Prime Minister of Canada, Canada was the number 4th best place in the world with the highest quality of life, best economics, the whole 9 yards. Now we're sitting at 21st. Thank you very much, Justin Trudeau, for that. Anyway, that's another video from Gweilo 60. If you like this video, as always, like, comment, subscribe. Peace out. Bye now.